Okay, I can hear you all screaming, and I know what your question is. Let's get to the answer so you can get planting now. What a beautiful day. It is just almost summer, and I am still growing tons of seeds around here to grow all summer long and into fall and even into winter. But I'm going to show you today how I grow my seeds differently at this time of the year where there's no work. You don't have to do anything. You just put them in and forget about them. And no, I'm not direct sowing. I am doing it differently, so I have full control of the seeds that I am growing. I will know exactly what's growing, and I can put them out as needed. And in the meantime, I can just sit back, have my tea, enjoy the garden, and forget about it. Let's get right into how you can do this the same way I can. So here I am starting to work on my rainbow garden, but I'm going to need to plant a lot of different things. And I've got squash growing everywhere, but the issue is it will eventually fizzle out, as cucumbers do too. And I may want to replace it with a new plant. Well, in the winter and early spring, we are struggling to get the seeds growing in little pots, and we're taking care of them. And if it's not right, then we end up losing them, or we got to transplant them in the bigger pots. Let me show you how you don't have to do any work, because you're now enjoying your garden. See these 3 totes? Well, right now, the middle one is set up as a greenhouse. Now, the reason it's so easy is because I only have to water one spot. Let's look inside and let me explain to you what I did. Now, here is a flag, and when it's really hot like today, about 90 degrees, I give these seedlings some shade. Here's why it's so easy. I just have to water here, and then I have to walk away and forget about it. Any excess water will drain out. So what I've done here, just over a week ago, is I planted 4 different types of seeds. The simplest thing you can possibly do. What I did here is I took an 18-gallon tote, I cut the center out of the lid, and I put tulle over it. Then I put approximately 2 inches of potting soil in there, and I found some seeds that I want to grow and start planting pretty soon. This was only 10 days ago. I covered the seeds, as you can see here, and I made sure there's no weeds in there, though if there is, it's not going to be a problem really. And I went through each individual type and I simply put them in a row. Now notice how fluffy the soil is, because it's pretty much straight out of a bag, though I may have put a little bit in from other totes. That was yellow squash, and I labeled it. I'm going to keep the seeds perfectly straight. Each one is planted in its own row. So when I go back, I will know exactly what they are, and I will pull them out, and they will be easy to remove. The big secret is don't leave them in there that long. Just move them out of there before they get too big. This is my pickling cucumber. These are my watermelon. This is yellow squash like a zucchini and dill. Look at all this. No work. No joke. I just have to hit it with water every couple days. If it's too dry, give it a little water, put it in the front. It's on a tilt. It will tilt down. All the soil in there will pick up the water. But you know what's odd about this? Do you see how far down it's dropped? There's only 2 inches of soil. You don't want any more. If you fill this whole thing up, it's just going to defeat the whole purpose. 2 inches of soil. It is now a full greenhouse. It is covered when needed, and when it's not needed, you take the flag and flip it off. You're going to put this on, and that's all you have to do. Why are we covering it? So no birds will get in there. We want to make sure we use potting soil. Now, the reason we're using it straight out of the bag, and we're not going to add anything else in, though occasionally some of the seeds that are weeds that are so fine will blow through the air and get in here as you're servicing it. You want to make sure that you know what's growing. That's why you want potting soil. You don't want to take from a tote or from your garden, but you can if you want, because you're going to bring in other seeds. So I know exactly what came up in this week because I've tagged everything. This is just food containers. And actually, this was a placemat, but you can use food containers too. Look at that. These are pickling cucumbers. I left this here because it's empty. This is the sugar baby watermelon. This one is the yellow squash. I can see that. And then we know that dill is so fine that we can pick it out. The little tiny ones with the little round leaves, those are not dill. You can pick those out or leave them for now. Now with the dill, if I wanted to, I could leave it. Just let it grow in here and continue to do the same thing. Pluck these all out. You can put them in a pot and then you can put them in another tote. I would definitely put some soil on the bottom, even though you can put these in their own individual cups, because soil will retain moisture for all the plants in there, and it kind of regulates the whole thing. But the soil will help. So we can pluck these out, put them in separate pots, take care of them, or move them directly out into the garden now. This is how easy it is. I'm taking a breakfast break, and then I'll go back and do the video in a minute. Gary brought me breakfast, as he does every morning. Okay, I'll be right back. So now that the seedlings are growing, what do we do with them? Well, if you've got a place to put them, whether it's a tote, a bucket, or in the ground, go ahead and plant them now. But if not, you want to put them in a pot of some sort until you're ready to get them where you want. Now, I keep pots from other plants that I've bought, and any pot will do, even a food container, but you want to label them. And I have found that masking tape or painter's tape works great. See what I did on this one? I labeled it, but I also made a little tag. Why? Because sometimes when you want to take it off later, you got to fight with it. So when you bend it a little bit, you'll see that you make a simple tag and then you can pull it right off. But I will tell you something, it is important to label it so when you go back and look at it, you won't have to think, was it a zucchini? Was it a yellow squash? What type of cucumber it was? You want to get it labeled, but don't leave them in that tote, that little greenhouse we made, too long. Be sure to get them out within a couple weeks before they get their super long roots. So I'm going to move a couple of these plants. Now the first one, I'm going to take out one of the cucumbers. I'm going to put it in the pot that you saw me set up. Now what I like to do is once I get it in the pot, and I'm going to use any soil at this point that I feel like using, whether it's potting mix or soil that I'm going to plant in later, like maybe something that came out of another tote, that's perfectly fine. Now right now they have very small roots compared to what they're going to have in about a week. See? That's basically it. Now, of course, taking it out, we're still going to damage stuff we cannot see. The tiniest roots, and it will droop. Just make sure you keep it well watered for the first 24 hours. So go back and water it a few times no matter where you put it. And by the next day, if not sooner, it will pop back up if it drooped. But now I'm putting it in a pot. And once I'm done, I'm actually going to sit it in the corner right now here since I have room. If I didn't have room here, I like putting them in another tote set up just like this on soil, 2 inches of soil in the pot. It seems to really regulate these little greenhouses perfect when you have soil on the bottom, not just the plastic tote all the way around. It's more natural and the plants seem more comfortable and they just do much better. And do notice in this setup, I'm not putting chopped up leaves and trying to compost. I don't want to encourage insects in here right now because roly-polies or anything that gets in there may chew up the leaves. Now here is how I water it, which is interesting. I'm watering it on this side, the front of the tote. Why? Because it's on a slant. So all the water is going to dribble to the back. And then if there's any, overflow, it's going to come out of the front. But in the meantime, the soil is nice and damp. Now the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to remove one of them and get them planted somewhere. I'll show you how I get them planted. I want to get all the cucumbers in their spot because I already know where I'm going to put it. So let's go get this one in its new home and hopefully we'll get a ton of cucumbers before we know it because nothing's going to get to this cucumber plant. So we're going to take this cucumber plant and plant it in my dog kennel. I'm so excited. These are very large totes. I think they're about 30 gallons and I'm going to push quite a few plants in here. So let's get this planted and you'll see maybe in the next few weeks how it takes off. I'm going to put 2, I think, side by side. I'm going to show you how I get it in the ground. Great. You saw my hat. Yes, a green felt hat from the thrift store. Okay, let's get another one planted so maybe you can see the other one. But you got the idea. And I'm going to take the label off the flower pot and I'm going to stick it on the inside of the tote right now. You can stick it anywhere for now, and I'll know what I planted there. It's always good to label, and of course you can put plant stakes in there. So now let's get the second one planted so maybe you can see what I'm doing. I think side by side is going to be great. So let's get another one in there. It is so easy. I've got a watermelon in there right now and a tomato. I don't know if I'm going to leave the tomato, but I am going to leave the watermelon. It's very simple. We're just going to make sure we put the baby plant in a hole. And you know, at this age, they are really resilient, strong plants. It's amazing how much they can take and still grow. That's because they're so young. They don't have a lot of roots right now, and they're just anxious to grow. And there it is. Now I've got them side by side. Now, if you notice the one to the left that I planted just minutes ago, it's drooping. That's because it's still lost some of its roots and it has been moved and it's going to go into shock. Don't worry about that. Just make sure you keep it well watered for the first day. It's going to pop up, I guarantee you. And I'm going to leave the empty package in there also for now and just stick it there. We'll come back later and check on it, but they do recover quite quickly and everything will be fine. And if not, we'll plant some more seeds. So leave the watering can there, and periodically, the first time when you plant it, just give it a couple good drinks. And this way it won't dry out. It will start to pull the water back into its leaves and it will quickly start to make new roots. They usually recover within 24 hours. This is evening, just before the sun goes down. It's already almost 8 o'clock at night, and look at the leaves are up. Can you see that? And this is a really good time to plant too. I think I'm going to get the other two I wanted in the tote next to it. I think it'll look really nice trellising up the dog run. And there they are. I popped them in and they should be just good to go. The only thing that could happen now is, well, hopefully nothing unless a roly-poly gets in there and eats it. We'll come back and check on them in the next couple weeks. I hope I gave you ideas. What do you think about this? Because I'm telling you, this is the easiest way to start seeds. So let's end this. Look at this. This is the next morning. They look beautiful. Now what you want to do is make sure all these little weeds that are in the soil, looks like purslane, is out, because it will take away from the plant. And you can use a fork, you can use a spoon, just kind of scrape it around. Let me tell you something, it's much easier to get it out when it's tiny by just scraping it away, and it could be any type of weed, than waiting until they get bigger and you're pulling them and their roots are intertwined with your plants that are growing. And I think the other thing I'm going to do is spot in some peas. I've got a bag of peas here, and I'll just open them up. I'll just spot them in. Whatever makes it, makes it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I don't have a ton of time to do a lot of stuff. So I can just spot them in off to the side, maybe here. Let's make a row here. Generally, you want to soak peas. They'll grow better if you soak them, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Give them a little space here. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And if they come up, they come up. And if they don't, I bought a bunch. And then maybe the same thing here. This has to be chopped up a little bit, but it will break down as it gets watered and stuff. Oh boy, I dumped out way too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good enough. I'll find someplace else for the other ones, maybe. Let me get that little rock away. Okay. But there we are. You can remind me when I see peas coming up. What the heck is that? You'll go, peas! I could put some more on this end. Nothing to lose. It's not going to be in my way. I don't know if I'm going to leave that tomato. I am going to definitely leave the watermelon. Let's put 1, 2, 3 here. I'm keeping it nice and damp. Remember, when you put your new plants in, keep them well watered. I'll put some here. Let me take this out for now. And I'll do the same thing right here. I think there's 3 left. It's really good if you want to soak the peas for a few hours. The pea seeds, because they're so dry. But like I said, if it makes it, it makes it. I buy so many of these seeds. Okay. And I can't leave this out. Still have a bag full. All right. So I do hope I'm giving you ideas to make your gardening life easier. So this way you will garden. Oh, look, those leaves got a little bigger already just overnight. My goal is to get you to garden. It's easy, it's fun, and if nature does it for free and really with no effort, we should be able to do it very similar. So leave your thoughts and your comments. I want to hear, am I helping you? Are you not learning anything? Or are you getting ideas? Because that is what I want to spread around, ideas to make a light bulb go off in your head saying, I can do it, maybe even differently, but I can do this. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to hold on. I already hear the questions. I'll ask the question for you. Robbie, what do you do with the empty space in the totes you've already grown in? Well, think about it. I'm only using potting soil, doesn't have much nutrients anyways. I replant. I can use that same 2 inches of soil all summer long, even into the fall. In the winter, this is going to be a little bit too cool, though we could heat it up, but that's not what this is about. Of course, you're going to continue to plant in the same soil. You remove the seedlings, you put in new in a row, and make sure you label it, and that's all you got to do. You're going to continue to use the same little greenhouse setup. So now, with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.